Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Yeah, from group 11, we want to explain about the novel Alif the Unseen by G. Willow Wilson. The members from group 11 are Emma Nursiana, Fahira Fatunisa, and Hana Filiana. The first is synopsis from the novel. Will explain by Emma Nursiana.
G. Willow Wilson, an American covert woman living in Cairo, is the author of many well-known works. Although Wilson is not ethnically Arab, her identifies herself as an Arab writer. Having lived in Cairo since her early 20s, her work entitled Alif the Unseen use cyberspace to question U.S. border and U.S. surveillance in her science fiction Alif the Unseen. This novel follows the adventure of a young computer programmer named Muhammad who used the online usernames alias Alif. Alif works as a grey hat, a term for people who work in various fields of IT, information technology. He's part of global hacking community that work for ordinary people, not companies. The ambiguous term "guy" implies that the hackers' work, although sometimes illegal, was carried out with good intentions and not for personal gain. Alif protect many clients, dissidents, Islamists, communists, feminists, and basically help anyone with a computer and a jury against the tax police in the city. When the aristocratic woman Alif loves, named Indisar, leaves him for a prince chosen by her parents, Alif creates a software program that allows him to track Indisar's online presence and block her from contacting him. He named his software Tinsari, rearranging the letters from Indisar's names as inspiration. The software functions as a pattern recognition system that can recognize individuals based on typing patterns, keystrokes, syntax, grammar, word choice, and all the other apparent attributes that can be measured when using a computer. The software works almost too well and can pinpoint every time Indisar used the internet, regardless of whether she is operating under her own log-on or social account. At the time, Alif does not realize his software might fall in the wrong hands, such as the State Intelligence Agency, which could potentially use this program to track any person anywhere if they use the internet. While Alif is busy with this program, Indisar called his friend, uh, her friends, Dina, and asked her to deliver a book called Alfium Wayum, or in English, 1001 Days, the inverse story of the 1001 Night. Before Alif has a chance to properly examine the book, Abbas al-Sebab, Indisar finds and head of the intelligence agency, discovered the software Alif has planned to keep track of Indisar. Abbas al-Sehab is also known as the mastermind in control of the pervasive surveillance techniques used by the government to crack down on any dissidents' behavior by the populace. When the hand breaks Alif's computer and jeopardize Alif's identity and Dina's safety. They are forced to leave their home and go into hiding. Once in hiding, the two learn that the hands is after the Alphium because they believe it holds the secret to quantum computing and subsequently more effective internet surveillance. Labeled as terrorist of the states, Alif is blacklisted and forced underground, where he asks Vikram the vampire, a notorious thug, in reality a jinn, for help. Vikram helped Alif, Dina, and an American convert, an expert on Asian manuscript, except with the Alphium in the Immovable Alley, a hidden place unseen by humans and inhabited by jinn. When the hand in his search for the Alphon Yaum crashed the utility grid of the world city, a hack revolution breaks out as angry people demand freedom of speech and connectivity on the internet. In the maze of it all, Alif managed to stop the hand from stealing the Alphoyom. As the revolution sweeps over the city, the hand is captured and hanged in the public square, and the government regime is ousted from power. Now that the government has collapsed, Alif does not have to hide behind his alias, and Dina calls him Muhammad in public without fearing for his safety. Though the outcome of the revolution is unclear, there is a breadth of respect from the constant surveillance of the defunct government, and Alif is able to return home with Dina. Okay, the next borderland and beyond border will explained by my friend Fahira.
Given the above discussion on the conceptual difficulty in theorizing difference, it is understandable that a text like Borderlands would be warmly received. But, as Chandra Thelpet Mohanty points out, the proliferation of texts by women of color is not necessarily evidence of the decentering of the hegemonic subject. Of crucial importance is the way the texts are read, understood, and located. Two potentially problematic areas in the reception of Borderlands are the isolation of this text from its conceptual community and the pitfalls in universalizing the theory of mestiza or border consciousness, which the text painstakingly grounds in specific historical and cultural experiences. Yarbrough and Bejarano, 1994. Next. According to Yarbrough and Bejarano, 1994, recognizing the way a person occupies the borderlands and theorizing a consciousness for survival can transform living in the borderlands from a nightmare into a luminous experience. Next. In the novel Alif the Unseen, the borderland lies between the human world and the jinn world. Once upon a time, the jinn talked to Alif and his parents not to fall asleep in the borderland. This explains that the borderland is dangerous for humans, and Alif cannot live between the real world and the supernatural. Next. According to Johar, this novel reveals the infinity of a transnational global society because of the relationship between two different worlds that reflect different cultures and religions, and Johar also argues in her paper that Wilson opposed border and boundaries through the character Alif in the novel. Okay, the next is source from article will explain by Hannah Filiana.
Michael Hell, 992, state the dominant modernist fiction is epistemological, whereas postmodernist fiction is predominantly ontological. He showed that there are two strategies to prioritize the ontological aspect in a fiction, namely the confrontation between words in a fiction that show the plurality of the word, and a strategy to destabilize the word is built in a fiction that initiates the formation of word universe in a fiction. Next. The confrontation that occurs between our word and another word can somehow be near or parallel to our word, which can be accessed through some kind of boundary barrier. Michael stated the dominant modernist fiction is epistemological, whereas postmodernism is dominant. Next. Darko Supin, followed by Mark Ross quote from Michael. The confrontation between two words obtained two strategies. The first is to transport representative of our word to a different word, and the second is the opposite, which implies the disturbance of another word to be word. These strategies can be combined with each other to make the word in a fictional word coexist or even become one. Next. The final strategy to show the ontological confrontation is in postmodernism is the polyglot phenomenon. In a fiction, polyglot literally means more than one language or multi-language. This means that there are various languages used in a text, even though it has been translated into a certain language. In Alif the Unseen, there are various languages that are used as tools to shape a different word. The different language used by the character can also provide a broader knowledge of each nationwide. Each term in one language give a different meaning to other language, so that it will enrich knowledge about how people in a country understand language outside of their daily life. Finish.
Okay, maybe enough from us. Thank you. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi
Waalaikumsalam
wabarakatuh.
warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.